stay in my mind, and then I would replay my past on, you know, I have been, with a guy that was married, that one week he was at my house, one week he was at her house, one weekend he was with her, the next month he was with me. And then I had to say, do I love myself? Maybe I don't fully love myself. This is the thing. We all will say that we love ourselves, but what are we going to do for us to be like, hey, I'm not going to settle for that. I love myself enough that at the first sign that you're not willing to come 100% with me and we be even with this thing, I'm out. So, but anyway, I really felt he was wrong at the way he came at me, because you don't really know me. You don't know my past. You didn't know what I went through. But that question stayed with me. So now sometimes I still feel like, do I love myself? Because it was moments in my life because of me settling for so much with God, I didn't love myself. I had low self-esteem. I doubted myself whenever we got into it. I felt it was on me. Well, it was nights that, I'm not even going to say nights. It would be days that he wouldn't come home. And I can just remember sitting in, this room that I had in my house, just trying to figure out, like, why? What's so wrong with me? What the hell? But guess what? A few days later, he would come back, we would fight, and we would go on like nothing was wrong. A few days later, he would leave again. And so one day, he brought a child home. And I knew it. I felt it in my gut. But I was so stressed out. I was in a, what do you call it? A trance almost every day, just trying to figure out, why am I here? Why can't I would break up with this guy every day. I would say to myself every day, I'm leaving. I'm out of here. Don't call me. I will block the number. An hour later, I'd unblock the number, because I just had to know, is he trying to call me? Is he trying to come back? I settled with this guy, and I'm going to get to the whys in a little bit. But we first have to acknowledge the things that we are settling with. So that was 7 years of my life, back and forth. It maybe took this guy 2 years to really just say, hey, I love you. I remember it like it was yesterday. My grandmother was very ill on hospice, and we were at her house around the clock, and she passed. And when she passed, it was the first time that this guy had ever expressed that he loved me. So get it? I've already went through all these years of being with you, cooking, cleaning, me thinking we're building a foundation. We got 3 cars, we got a house, we got a nice bank account, but you have other women, and with me doing all of that, this guy never expressed, hey, Char, I love you. And I'm going to say, that's why I stuck in there so long, because you're kind of like, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to stick it out until he can see me and really realize that I'm the woman that he loves. So I settled for so many years because the sex was good. He was cute. He was a provider. And so all of those reasons, I settled for him being an unfaithful, lying, cheating dog. My mental status was 0. My self-esteem was 0. I could not figure out, why me? Am I not pretty enough? I would have outside people say, oh my God, you have a pretty face. Guys, stop telling women that they have a pretty face, because it's like you're disregarding the rest of me. When you say, hey, you have a pretty face, then what is that? You're saying the rest of you is just shot to hell. So guys, stop telling women that they have a pretty face. That it doesn't help. It really only adds doubt to any doubt that they may already have about themselves. But so I settled in that situation. Got out of that situation. Got with this guy. It was fun. Everything was fun. Within, let's say, a week of he and I hooking up, his girlfriend was calling me. Needless to say, he was living with her when I was thinking he was living with somebody else. You know? Did I leave at that point? No. Did we fight? Yes. Almost 2 years with the same situation back and forth, beefing with this chick. And I wasn't young. And, I can own up to things that I've been through in my life or stupid things that I put up with or, all of that comes from a deep-rooted problem within you if you're willing to put up with stuff like that. So anyway, moved on to the next. Same situation. I'm settling. He gave me a ring, which to this day, I don't know if it was real or if it was just he was caught up in the moment or caught up in the Pritchard juice. You know how that goes. But anyway, I really had a lot of hope for that, and I settled. I settled with the back and forth. I settled with me going out of my way, wanting to please him. And I would see something that I thought he might like and I would buy it. And there was no commitment to me because at this time we were going back and forth. We didn't live in the same town. It was long distance. So, just the thought of, oh my God, I'm going to be with such and such this weekend or this week or that it was just an excitement. But I dealt with knowing that it was a big possibility, a 90% chance that he's lying to me and this chick that's calling me is serious, that they are together. But I dealt with it because of it was fun, it was fresh, it was something to do. It was, you have this cute guy that's all into you and it was just fresh, it was fun. But I settled for him being a cheater and a liar. And the biggest thing was, I'm just going to put it out there and say maybe she put him out. And he called me to pick him up. I went and picked him up, got all this stuff. I'm really feeling like I'm doing something. He's moving in with me. We're about to have a future. To sum it all up, I kind of think I'm psychic a little bit. And I was at work one day and something just didn't sit right with me. And you know how you get that little feeling in you that's like, just go home, check it out. So I got up and I clocked out and I went home. When I got in the house, I'm like, something doesn't feel right. So I sat down on the bed and I'm looking around and I'm starting to notice that I didn't see his things anymore. So I'm looking like, wait a minute, what's going on? I opened the closet. 90% of his stuff is gone. It's maybe a couple of shirts and pants hanging there. So I'm sitting on the bed because at this time I'm shocked. I had no clue. There was no conversation about, hey, this isn't going to work. I think I'm going to go back. I was shook. I was shocked. I was so shocked I couldn't even be mad at the time, So, lo and behold, he didn't know I was there because I parked my car in the garage and he comes in the house. I'm sitting on the bed. He has an arm full of clothes that he had stashed somewhere else, I'm assuming. And I said, wow. That's all the respect that you have for me? That you couldn't call me and say, this isn't going to work? Or you couldn't have a conversation with me while we were in the bed the night before? You couldn't do that much for me? Now here it is. I have settled with dealing with your crap. And you don't respect me enough to be a man and say, hey, this isn't working for me. I had teenage kids at the time. They're rebellious, whatever the case may be. You owe me that respect. You owe me that much to sit down and say, this is not working. I'm leaving. So I didn't put up much of a fight because I think I was in shock. I was really, really just like, damn. I have put up with your crap all this time, and you were just gonna let me come home and find you gone. And when I tell y'all that was something that haunted me, it no longer haunts me, but it did, and it put me in a really, really dark place because I really didn't know that people could be so cruel. As far as one day you're this sweet, loving guy, you're putting a ring on my finger, to the next whatever, you leave without a word. And wow, when I tell you guys, I was shook, and it was really nothing I could fight about. It was like, damn, I was upset, I was mad, but I settled. So you get it? My whole life, or should I say young adult life, I settled. I've dealt with guys that I knew from the start had issues, So it's not like we were together and then all these issues started happening. These are guys that I knew had issues from the start. And I was willing to settle and deal with that bull crap because I was in a vulnerable spot in my life. So ladies, when we're in a vulnerable spot, you guys know how I talk, so you get what I'm trying to say. We tend to settle for things that we know aren't good for us. We tend to deal with the utmost disrespect sometimes. We'll fuss, we'll fight, we'll break it off, we'll not talk to you. And all it takes is one sweet whisper in our ear, or one this, or one gesture, or one memory, or one thought, or one song, and I'm right back at your feet. I'm right back in your arms. And here I am settling again. So, when Lena asked me the question, why do I think women of color settle? I think all women settle, and I really think it's something that comes from deep inside of us as little girls that we're missing. I didn't grow up with my father. I didn't even meet my father till I was like 16. And I can remember looking at men like, I wonder if my dad looks like him. I wonder if my dad talks like him. I wonder what my dad is like. And it took me so long to receive a compliment from people because I felt like I didn't deserve it. And, somebody can give me a compliment now and it kind of feels weird. And you can sum it up to be like, maybe I'm shy, but you have to dig down in yourself and you're like, why am I not believing that I am this super chick, that I am freaking awesome, that I do deserve a wholehearted, healthy relationship with a guy that's not gonna watch me hurt, that's not gonna see me go through the motions. Why can't I believe that? Why can't I take a compliment when somebody says, you are freaking gorgeous? And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking like, well, maybe it's my makeup, and I don't really wear makeup. It's a little bit here and there, but I can't accept that. It's really weird for me. But that's because something was broken in me as a little girl. And some kind of way, because of all my past relationships that I have allowed, because no one can force anything on you. It's up to you to put up with it. It's up to you to stick around. It's up to you to allow people to do you wrong. So because of me and my needing to be with somebody so bad, searching for that loving feeling from a man, I just, I got lost somewhere, and I just didn't feel that I deserved it. I just didn't feel that it was true. So you have to just sit down and think,